Hello, Nick. Early spring 1778 is done, and here's the recap. British won the initial initiative, and Burgoyne used that to create the Army of the North up there in Fort Ticonderoga, and they immediately played, what is it, the Patrick Ferguson card here, which added a +1 leader, tactical leader, to a loyalist SP. So Burgoyne currently sits there. He's got 2 British regulars, 4 German regulars, and a loyalist SP with Ferguson. Plus, so Burgoyne's a C leader, and then he's also got who is that? Rawdon. He's a B. He's left well, he hasn't moved yet, but he's planning on leaving behind 2 loyalist SPs and a German SP, so that there's at least some regular army there. And they've been kind of wanting to get a leader in there also, but that kind of changed that plan. So on the Colonials' turn, Gates, who had been he was down here somewhere, I can't remember exactly where. He with his force of 6 militia and 2 regulars came up. There had been a loyalist here. He entered there. The loyalist was able to retreated out of there. So the militia had to stay, and Gates continued following with his last movement point, and the loyalist was again able to retreat. So he retreated back into Amherst there. And we went on to Action Pulse 2. The Colonials won again. So, well, not that again. They won the initiative. Gosh, what did they do? I have. Maybe, you know what? What did they do? I know Gates went again and was chasing the loyalists, and I think the loyalists retreated maybe over here. Yeah, that's I think what it was. Or wait, I don't know. It's a little sketchy. I'm not sure how it all went down, but I know Gates had followed, tried to go after the loyalist again. The loyalist again rolled the ability to retreat. Pretty amazing. I mean, you got to roll with leaderless SPs. Need a 1 or a 2 to be able to retreat, and he did it 3 times. So then Gates either had to, at least, again, rules wise, I'm just kind of interpreting here. Since he was going after the loyalist, he would have to follow where the loyalist went or just stop. And since following the loyalist would take him away from his objective, which was to take over a key spot in Virginia, either here at Charlottesville, there at Richmond, or down in Norfolk, he just chose to end his movement. So then on the British turn, the British decided, probably should have made the decision before. They decided they could possibly do something about Gates. So Fraser detached from over here where he'd been with Clinton. He detached with a force of just 1 SP of British regulars and 1 SP of loyalists. And he came down here and attempted to have battle with Gates. And Gates decided to attempt retreat. He was successful, and he retreated away. I thought to Taylorsville. Had to be to Taylorsville. So I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how this all went down, but we're going to get to the end, and I'm happy that I know the way the end ended. All right, so Gates definitely was here in Taylorsville. I'm pretty sure he had. Oh well, maybe I don't know. He had retreated somewhere. Gosh, yeah. Anyways, Gates was definitely here. He then, with Fraser sitting here, he decided to target Richmond, which didn't have an entrenchment there at the time. He failed his activation and was only able to go 2 spots, and so he ended up here in Amelia. So then Jay Butler activated from the leader pool and was in debate, whether he wanted to join the 2 loyalists there, but decided he would join here and have them build a entrenchment. So they did that because there was already an entrenchment here, the thought being that this force was weaker than that force with an entrenchment, even though they were loyalists. So did that. On the final pulse, it was a tie roll, so everybody got to draw cards, and it was some interesting card draws here. Since the Colonials had the initiative, basically, they drew first. They got this Slave Uprising in the Deep South card, which would have removed a militia, 1 SP. There's 6 here. 1 SP didn't really seem to do a lot, and there wasn't really anything that they had to keep it since they had an open spot. So then the next card that the Colonials drew was this Olive Branch Petition, for which again they had to offer to the British. So the British, they decided to keep this one since, hey, you get a so they kept that, deciding that that would be better served than getting rid of 1 SP there. So then the Colonials drew Extended March, which they had no use for because they wanted to keep their battle cards, which in hindsight maybe they should have traded the Extended March for to discard that, but that could come in handy. So then the British had their draw, and they got, oh wait a minute, now I'm getting all messed up here with bringing these cards over. So then they got in their own personal draw then for the tie, they got the Six Nations card. They get to activate a tribe of their choice, and then the rest of the tribes get rolled for. So they discarded, which was the card? Yeah, they discarded the Olive Branch card, which would have penalized the Colonials on the political will chart or track, but it was just 1. So they decided, you know what, if we can secure half of the Six Nations, and then 50-50 chance for the other 3, we'll keep that. So then the action happened. So Gates then decided to march on Norfolk. He failed his activation again, but he only needed to go 1 spot, so that worked out. So he had two regulars versus the 2 loyalists under their entrenchment there. Used a battle card, and it was a good thing because he ended up getting the edge there, forcing a bigger star retreat. The two loyalists had nowhere to go because they have transport capacity left, there was no ship there to help initiate that. You don't need the ship for transport, but you do need to have it there if you need to use the transport to retreat. So they were just then basically eliminated, and Gates had broken the British grip on Virginia. So we rolled for militia activation of Virginia, and he got two militia there. So then to close out the turn, Fraser then decided, we got him, Gates cornered now. He's got no retreat out of there. So he came over from Amherst and attacked at a 2-4 disadvantage, but he had a battle card that he used. So he actually was, up on the battle. I think he had +3 to Gates's +1. But the roll did not go his way. It was just a single SP loss on both sides, and he had to retreat, which I need to add the demoralized to him. So he's left with just that one loyalist. Gates is now down to 2 militia and one regular. So getting interesting. Just Gates has been a thorn in the side. He cleared up the south for the Colonials, and now they're trying to keep him from doing the same up here in the Tidewater. Probably should have planned on it a little sooner. Maybe stripped away that force with Frazier to come off and maybe try to close off this before he was able to get up there. I thought they were going to be able to do it, because I mean, if Frazier would have caused a retreat of Gates, then they would have had to surrender, and they would have retaken Virginia. But that's not what happened. So we move on. So the late spring turn, the roll was made for French entry. It was a 2, so they're coming in. So 6 turns from now, we put the Rochambeau arrives, and when that occurs, Rochambeau, siege mortars, and 8 French SP will arrive, so that'll be next year. Currently, D'Estaing, however, and 6 seasonal SPs are ready to go in Europe. I think my plan with them is I'm going to have them maybe go all the way down here and take out the Florida garrison here of the British. I don't know for sure if that's allowed. Could just be that only the British and the Spanish are allowed. Of course, on the foreign entry card, it says the Spanish can only operate in the Caribbean and in Florida. I don't see any restriction for the French that they can't operate in Florida. So maybe they do that. I don't know, unless I just send them into the Caribbean. As you can see, I put 2 SP on each of the French holdings. It says 4. Where is it? Yeah, it says place 2 on each of the 4 French possessions, but I only see 3. I'm wondering if that's a misprint and modeled after the French, or not the French, the Spanish, since they have 4. So and I've got both ships of the British have made their way down here to defend down there in the western, what is that, the Windward Islands, and then also there at St. Lucius, because I think the British are going to attack there right away. Try to do that, because I think so. The victory condition, one of the ways that they can win now is if they take all French possessions in the Bahamas, not the Bahamas, what is this box? The Caribbean, and hold it at the end of the game. So that seems to me to be the only shot they have. Maybe I don't think they're going to reduce the American political will marker to 0. Holding 4 colonies at the end of the game, I mean, possible, but not if the French start coming in and wreaking havoc on the coastlines, and then or if they control this. I'll have to see. Maybe Rochambeau can take over the Middle States, and then they can get one more somewhere. We'll see. We'll see how the Caribbean goes. The British they're pretty scary on that political will. I'll have to look up. Oh, here's the other ways. This stuff's hard to remember, but we'll continue. So I took a home run shot here. The Colonials won the initiative, and I happened to see that if Halifax is taken, that is -2 shifts to the left on political will for the British, and then that would put them at 1, and then I probably could just hop out of force and go reopen up Maryland There's one SP sitting at Fort Cumberland. Could throw that to the side, and that would have put the British at 0 political will. I can't remember if if that has to hold at the end of the turn or if it's just happens. Let's see, for colonial after French entry. Oh man, maybe this was even dumb to attempt. I don't see anything about reduce the British will to 0, but that was one of the victory conditions prior to French entry. Yeah, I don't see that. So maybe my gambit wouldn't have mattered. But anyways, going through all the modifiers, so 6 to 1, that puts us on the 4 to 1 column, +3 for that, but that then is negated because of fortress of -3, and let's see, amphibious attack. If a fleet is present, that's -2, but we used a battle card to offset that, and then D'Estaing acts as a +1, a sea leader, so +1. So it was a net +1, but the die rolls went horrible for the French. Both sides ended up with a star for the result. So that forces D'Estaing, I guess, to retreat. So I guess I don't know where he goes, but he would be hanging out there, demoralized, and he failed. So we'll continue on. That's a freebie move, all the fleet movements and stuff. So there's still colonial stuff to do. But I thought I'd just show that. I guess my home run wouldn't have worked, but that would have been good because what is it? One of the colonial VCs after French entry is if they capture both Quebec and Halifax at the end of any British AP. So that could have been the start of something. Yeah, I couldn't leave D'Estaing hanging out there. He's got to retreat to the closest friendly coastal space, so moved him here to Newport. All right, so trying a lot of new things. Let's see what happened here. Lincoln, who was in Albany with 7 SP of a variety of troops, he made the Army of the North there. So that should be an interesting thing. So then we tried, so we had the 4 SP from the Windward Isles. They made an amphibious assault here in St. Lucia. Used a battle card. So the net, so it was a, what was it, a +1 because of the 2 to 1 odds. So +3 then with the battle card, and then a -2 for amphibious assault with a fleet present. So just a net +1. Both sides after modification rolled a 6, but the French with their size of 2, it was just a 2-star, and the British with the size of 4 got 3 stars. So that's forced a retreat for the French. And I believe since they don't have a fleet there, well, there would have been a battle anyways, and no way to retreat, I think they're just eliminated, and the British have taken that. So, ooh, interesting, huh? So that's an ouchie. And that'll tick the French off. Maybe D'Estaing should have headed to the Caribbean rather than try Halifax. But man, if that would have worked in Halifax, that would have been quite something. Anyways, that's a freebie move because I think, yeah, that used half of their transport capacity for the year, and that stuff is just freebie stuff, so they still have their normal activation. So battle armies here on the British impulse. Then Burgoyne came down here, picked up Riedissel's Radizo and his troops slammed into the Army of the North led by Lincoln, and they caused a one star compared to a 1 star. So the colonial Army of the North had to retreat. They're now demoralized, and oh wait, did I check? Did I do that right? Let's see, they had 5, 6. They were an 8. Oh, I did not count that. So it's both a 1 star. So I did that wrong. So it ended up just being a tie, and the fortunes are reversed. Yeah, because I forgot. I'd added the fort in when I computed if there was anything special with odds, but then forgot to bump it for the size. Unless that doesn't count for that, but I think it does. I don't know. If it does, I'll correct it. British won the next initiative, and they immediately played the Six Nations card. So they chose the Onondaga as their ally. So they've got a nice little front there. Then we rolled the rest. The Oneida both came up a tie, so they remained neutral for the rest of the game. The British got the Cayuga, and the Colonials got the Tuscarora. So very bent toward the British, but I don't really see a whole lot of I don't know if I really want to waste activations on moving them around. But I had the thought like, oh man, I could move some of these guys, but again, you got to have leaders to kind of cut off retreat paths, and then if we get that, maybe we could force surrender. But I don't know. That's a lot of activations that I got to use for that. So anyways, on with the turn. So second impulse, Grant moved up here, hoping to maybe get a little more pressure on Gates. Here's kind of another little, I'm not sure about rule-wise. We had a magazine here. I wasn't sure if I could just leave that on, because this would revert to colonial control. So I didn't know if I needed to leave somebody. So we left a loyalist there, and to just make sure of that. And then Grant moved up. D'Estaing tried to, he wanted to come over here to land his troops there to reinforce Gates, but he only rolled a 1, so he can only go out there. And then Jay Sullivan from the leader pool activated, took 3 of these guys, moved over there and entrenched, just trying to make it more difficult for them to get their force up there on Gates. But all he's got to work with is militia. So we'll see how that goes. On to the third impulse. So initiative on impulse 3 turned out to be a tie with, or not impulse 3, the third impulse. So that moves it down to where we're in the last impulse, and we each drew cards. Colonials got Baron von Steuben. So they've got they can add some extra manpower to Washington because of that card, and Washington's he's actually in Pennsylvania, but so there's some good things there, up here in Albany. That 1 SP with that card could come in handy. Now more interesting, the British drew another battle card, and wow, where to use that? There's so many places. There's Grant could try to push through and hurt these militia there, or maybe an attack here to finally get rid of Gates, or there's always here with the Army of the South, Cornwallis might want to take to the attacking Washington's army. There's always Burgoyne up here. You know, maybe he wants to attack Lincoln's army. Or there's always that Caribbean, because I think you definitely need a +2 card for these attacks. The problem here is, so we're going to need 1 to get there, 2, 3 going against the wind. So going to need Hood to roll a 3, and if we and moving this, I need a 3 for that to work. Surefire would be here. That's only going to cost 1. Could move out there, leaving that empty for the time being, and then hope that they can, you know, take it and then move back before the French could move somebody there. But interesting choices. You know, I don't know why I think there's, you know, if or choice, because the naval stuff is all, it doesn't use your action pulse. So we can do that, and we can still do something back on the mainland. So Hood was able, he rolled a 6, so he was able to get there. If I commit, so we've only got 4 naval capacity left, or transport capacity. So if we do it all to these guys so that we can get the +1 from the odds, they're going to need a 3, which means 33% chance of failure. I think we're going to go up. We're going to go up here. I think we're going, because it's assured that we're going to get there, and then we just need to, well, yeah, I mean, I guess D'Estaing then could, he could end up going back and then coming down. You know what? Let's do this. We're going to use our 4 naval capacity, and we're going to attempt to go 1, 2, 3. So let's set you up here to see the roll, and here it is. A 5. So they make it. So 1, 2, 3. They are coming in. They're going to play the battle card. So what this amounts to is, so it's an amphibious attack, and we've got a fleet present, so that's -2. The battle card's going to put that to a 0, and then we've got 2 to 1 odds, so we're a +1. So heck, let's roll the excitement. I don't know, I keep breaking in just because there's new things happening. So the French are going to be on the 2 column, and the British are going to be on the 3 to 7 column with a +1. Here's the roll. Oh baby. So that's going to be a 9 for the British, which is a 1 star, and a measly little 3 is an NR, which means nothing. So what this means is they lose 1, and then they've got nowhere to retreat to, so they are eliminated. And the British have taken 2 of the 3 French holdings right now. If they take that final one and can hold it till the end of the game without losing any of their own, they'll win. So some fireworks there. We'll have to think about what the Colonials will have to think about what D'Estaing is going to do, or old Rochambeau when he arrives later. All right, on with the rest of the turn. So that final impulse saw Grant move from here around the little line they had to form up with Fraser. Fraser's in a position now where he could probably definitely push Gates out, which would, Gates has nowhere to go, so that would totally eliminate him. I need to move D'Estaing. I'll allow it. He's going to make way to, he wants to get to Norfolk. So let's roll his movement. 6. Oh yeah, he'll get there, no problem. So he goes 1, 2, 3. So he lands. So now that makes it a little more foreboding. So now I don't think Fraser is going to be able to, but that also kind of ties D'Estaing in there, which leaves the British free hand still in the Caribbean. Anyways, so that's that, and then the response from the Colonials. They played the Baron von Steuben card to give Washington's army another SP of Colonials. And then Schuyler, who was here with two or four, I can't remember. I think he had four SP of Colonials, went over here, grabbed the other 2, and then formed in with Washington. So Washington's got a nice little stack at the moment. So he's got 8, 10, 14. He's got 16 strength. So I'm thinking the early summer turn may see some army offensives by Washington. So that's it. We'll be next time we'll be moving on to the early summer 1778 turn.